The Mazda 3 has built a reputation as one of the most enjoyable compact cars to drive, and a lot of that reputation comes down to its suspension and shocks. While most drivers think about the engine, styling, or interior, the shocks quietly play one of the most important roles in shaping the entire driving experience. They are the components that control how the car feels when it rolls over a bump, how stable it feels when cornering, and how connected you feel to the road underneath you. Without well-designed shocks, even the best engine and design would feel incomplete. In the Mazda 3, the shocks are tuned with a very specific philosophy in mind, something Mazda calls Jinba Itai, which translates to the unity between horse and rider. It means that the driver and car should move as one, in harmony, rather than feeling disconnected. This is where the suspension tuning comes in. The shocks aren't just there to make the ride smoother, they're engineered to give you control, stability, and confidence in every situation. When you drive a Mazda 3, you'll notice the suspension doesn't isolate you too much from the road like some soft sedans, but it also doesn't punish you with harsh jolts like some sporty cars. Instead, it strikes a careful balance. The setup usually involves McPherson struts in the front and either a torsion beam or a multi-link system in the rear, depending on the model year and trim. The shocks are matched to this setup so that the car stays planted and predictable. When you're driving around the city, the shocks help absorb potholes and uneven pavement, making the ride feel composed. On the highway, they help the car stay stable, even at higher speeds. And when you take a corner, the shocks keep body roll in check so the car feels nimble and responsive. This combination of comfort and agility is what sets the Mazda 3 apart in its class. Over time, shocks naturally wear down, and many drivers don't notice the change until the ride quality starts to feel loose or bouncy. Signs of worn shocks include the car taking longer to settle after hitting a bump, strange clunking noises from the suspension, or tires wearing unevenly. If you own a Mazda 3 and start noticing these issues, replacing the shocks can bring back that original, confident feel. The difference is often night and day. For drivers who want even more performance, there are aftermarket shock options available. Upgrading to sport-tuned shocks can make the Mazda 3 feel sharper in corners, reduce body roll, and deliver a firmer, more controlled ride. The trade-off is that these performance shocks can sometimes make daily driving less comfortable, especially on rough roads. It really depends on whether you value maximum precision or everyday comfort. Mazda designed the stock shocks to strike that balance, but the beauty of the Mazda 3 is that it can be tailored to your driving style. Another important detail is how Mazda tunes the shocks differently depending on whether you're driving the sedan or hatchback, or even the all-wheel drive version. Each variation of the Mazda 3 has slightly different weight distribution and handling needs, and Mazda engineers ensure the shocks complement those characteristics. This level of attention to detail is why the Mazda 3 consistently feels cohesive and well-balanced across all trims. At the end of the day, the shocks in the Mazda 3 may not be something you think about often, but they're one of the most important parts of what makes this car so enjoyable to drive. They absorb the harshness of the road without taking away the feedback you need as a driver. They give you stability when you're cruising on the highway and confidence when you're taking a tight turn. And they quietly work in the background, keeping every ride safe, smooth, and connected. If you're a Mazda 3 owner, paying attention to your shocks and keeping them in good condition ensures your car continues to deliver the same fun-to-drive experience that Mazda is famous for.